One of the most fascinating historical and biblical enigmas is the whereabouts of the 12 tribes of Israel. Many wonder whether these tribes truly disappeared, or if they survived in various forms throughout history. By examining biblical texts, historical accounts, and genetic studies, we can attempt to unravel this enduring mystery. Before we start, we'd like to ask for your support. If you enjoy our video, please hit the like button. This will help us reach more people and create content for you. Now let's get started with today's video. The formation of the 12 tribes. The 12 tribes of Israel originated from the 12 sons of Jacob, also called Israel. These tribes settled in the promised land of Canaan after their exodus from Egypt, fulfilling God's covenant with Abraham. However, their history was marked by periods of obedience and rebellion, which led to blessings and punishments from God. According to Leviticus 26 verses 1 to 17, God warned Israel of severe consequences if they disobeyed his commandments. One of the judgments involved their enemies ruling over them, leading to their eventual dispersal. This prophecy played out over centuries as the tribes faced conquests and exile. The division of Israel and the Assyrian conquest. After King Solomon's reign, Israel was divided into two kingdoms. The northern kingdom, called Israel, consisted of 10 tribes. The southern kingdom, called Judah, consisted of the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. In 722 BC, the Assyrian Empire conquered the northern kingdom of Israel and deported its population to various regions in Assyria. 2 Kings 17 verse 6. The fate of these tribes remains one of the most debated topics in biblical history. Some argue they assimilated into Assyrian society, while others believe they migrated and retained their identity in different regions. Theories about the lost tribes. Over the centuries, many theories have emerged regarding the fate of the lost tribes. Integration into other cultures. Some scholars believe the Israelites intermarried with Assyrians and other Middle Eastern populations, losing their distinct identity over time. Migration to other lands. Various groups claim descent from the lost tribes, including the Pashtun of Afghanistan, certain Jewish communities in India, and groups in Africa and Asia. Indigenous American connection theory. A controversial theory suggests that some tribes migrated to the Americas. However, genetic and archaeological evidence refutes this, showing indigenous Americans have Asian ancestry. African connection theory. Some claim certain African groups, particularly in West Africa, are descendants of the lost tribes. While the Lemba people of southern Africa have Jewish genetic markers, most African groups trace their lineage to Ham rather than Shem. European connection theory. A theory suggests that the British or Anglo-Saxons descend from the lost tribes. This idea lacks historical and genetic support, as European ancestry does not align with that of the ancient Israelites. Genetic and archaeological evidence. Modern genetic studies have largely disproven many of the above theories. DNA analysis reveals that modern Jews share close genetic ties with Middle Eastern populations such as Arabs, Syrians, and Lebanese. In contrast, indigenous Americans and most African groups have distinct genetic lineages unrelated to the ancient Israelites. However, some groups, such as the Ethiopian Jews, Beta Israel, and the Bene Israel of India, have genetic markers linking them to Jewish ancestry. The Lemba people of Africa also carry DNA markers associated with the priestly lineage of Aaron, adding some credibility to their claim of Israelite descent. The tribes in the New Testament. While the Old Testament focuses on the scattering of the tribes, the New Testament provides glimpses of their continued existence. In Luke 2 verse 36, Anna, a prophetess from the tribe of Asher, is mentioned. The Apostle Paul identifies himself as a member of the tribe of Benjamin, Romans 11 verse 1. These references suggest that at least some members of the so-called lost tribes survived. Theological perspective. The spiritual Israel. From a Christian theological standpoint, the question of the lost tribes takes on a different dimension. The New Testament teaches that in Christ, ethnic distinctions are no longer relevant in salvation. Galatians 3 verse 28. Believers in Christ, regardless of their ancestry, are considered part of the new Israel, the spiritual body of God's people. This view suggests that while the physical descendants of the lost tribes may exist, their ultimate identity is found not in genetics but in faith. According to prophecy, some of these tribes may rediscover their heritage and turn to Christ in the end times, fulfilling God's plan of redemption. The 12 tribes of Israel descended from the sons of Jacob, who was later named Israel. These tribes settled in the Promised Land after the Exodus from Egypt. However, due to disobedience and external conquests, they were scattered. The division of the kingdom. After King Solomon's reign, the kingdom split into Northern Kingdom, Israel, composed of 10 tribes. Southern Kingdom, Judah, composed of Judah and Benjamin. In 722 BC, the Assyrian Empire conquered the Northern Kingdom and exiled the 10 tribes. Many were displaced and assimilated into surrounding nations. Did the 10 tribes disappear? While many of the 10 tribes were exiled, evidence suggests that they did not completely vanish. Here are some possibilities regarding their whereabouts. 1. Scattered among Middle Eastern nations. The Bible, 2 Kings 17 verse 6, states that the Israelites were taken to Assyria, Hala, Habor, and the cities of the Medes. Many of their descendants likely remained in these regions and assimilated into local populations. 2. Present in modern Jewish communities. Some Jewish communities, such as the Bnei Menashe in India and the Beta Israel in Ethiopia, claim descent from the lost tribes. Genetic studies have found connections between these groups and Middle Eastern populations. Conclusion. The lost tribes of Israel remain an enduring mystery, with many theories but no definitive proof of their fate. While some may have assimilated into other cultures, historical and biblical evidence suggests that they did not completely disappear. The New Testament reinforces the idea that true Israel is not about ethnicity but about faith in Christ. Regardless of their physical whereabouts, the key message of the Bible is that salvation is available to all, regardless of lineage. The fulfillment of biblical prophecies may yet reveal more about the lost tribes in the future, but for now, their mystery continues to captivate scholars, theologians, and history enthusiasts alike. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.